Hello there, Sorry from 17 once again. Ouch, just picked a spot on my hairline and nearly, I think it was attached to my brain. Ow! This is my Dead Space 3 Impossible difficulty. This is chapter 18, Kill or Be Killed. And this is another pretty long one that's filled with a shit ton of combat. So if you're getting a little bit irked by the fact that the designers at this point in the game just add some imaginary length, all they've really done is pack the rooms filled with enemies just for the sake of it, then there's going to be plenty more of that. And we can't really moan about it, mainly because Dead Space 2 did the same thing. Dead Space 1 kind of did too. When you were moving the marker, there was just a shit ton of zombies. What the fuck am I on about? Shit ton of necros everywhere. So I guess it's kind of the Dead Space formula. But I do believe the previous games hid it a lot better. I do. I really do. But I do apologise that this looks really dark, because it really fucking does. And I could mess with the brightness of the video settings, but then it's going to make everything else look really weird and washed out. So I'm going to leave it as it is. I should have changed the brightness of the in-game screen a lot higher. This room does get illuminated later on. Be careful here. Do you see that bullshit? I just don't like it. I don't like the wrench guys in the trench coats. I don't like the spiky waist guys. Don't like it how he can stand on one leg before he falls over. And I'm about to use all my ammo on this one encounter. Look at that. The game that throws a million medpacks at you still somehow manages to skimp on ammo, which is a good thing, so I don't mind it too much. But this level combines a lot of different elements. You've got your rooms full of bad guys, you've got your rooms full of conflicting bad guys, you've got your rooms filled with soldiers shooting at you, you've got a completely pointless and contrived excuse to climb again. So there's another stupid climbing section coming. There's a couple of puzzle moments. Nothing too strenuous. And there's a lot of exposition, but the exposition is just bad. You get nothing from it because it's so poorly told. It really is. And some of the twists are pretty cool, but it's presented in such a way that it completely isolates any enjoyment, because they've just completely made it so convoluted and stupid that it just doesn't hit the right notes. Unlike running around in the traditional engineering suit, which is hitting all the right notes. I'm loving this suit right now. It's giving me some mad nostalgia. Where the hell did he come from? There's another one. Same place, coming out of that stupid hole in the wall. Who built that hole in the wall? You know, if we'd have not had pirate builders and they'd have sealed that thing up, we might not have had to fight these guys. And there's more. And he's running. God, I love that stasis coating. Stasis coating is so useful. Look at that. That was a successful shot. I wish they all went down that easily. That's my dog barking. That's my dog barking again. Goddamn dog. I assume my mum's letting him out to do his business and there's somebody walking down the street. You should see the outside, guys, at this moment in time. It's snowing like a bastard. And we didn't get snow at Christmas, but we're having all of it now. And I walked in it earlier, and I swear to God, when the wind's not on you, it's so much fun, snow. I'm like a little kid with it, but when you're walking and the wind is hitting you in the face with the snow, I literally had to walk with my chin touching my breastbone so that the snow wouldn't go down my neck. And I couldn't see a damn thing, and I was looking at my feet, because when I looked forward, it was hitting me in the eye and in my mouth and shin. I felt, you know, closer to a Japanese secretary than I could ever be, and it just wasn't good. But I do like snow. And it did make me feel a little bit more in a Dead Space 3 mood, because, you know, Isaac and everybody went through the snow. I went through the snow earlier. We're like best buddies. This room here is a stalker room, and it's a clusterfuck. There's fishermen, Scooby-Doo ghosts, all sorts of bullshit. Best way through it? Skip it. It's dangerous, it's scary, but it's extremely effective. There is only one downside to it as well. You have to come back through this room. But the puzzle is I believe that what I've just done. I think I get it first time. Look at that. Thank God for iframes. Thank you, iframes. Goodness me. And I'm surprised they didn't put any iframes in the roll, because as the roll stands it is completely pointless. It really is. It does nothing. I do it just because it's there and it gets me punished so much. Because if there was iframes, you could dodge attacks. You could literally not take damage. You could be good at the game, as opposed to relying on stasis and hoping that they don't run at you at 60 miles per hour. So this is interesting. I've never seen this enemy before, I don't believe. It's kind of like a flaily arms, ballsacky thing. And you don't have to shoot them if you don't want to. They can hit you though, and they do quite a lot of damage. They can swing their arms and they can descend if you go under them, and it does count as damage, so be careful. This next sequence here is another bullshit one. Stalkers, ballsacks and cysts. They come all around you. It's just absolute nonsense. Easiest way to do this, skip it. But be careful, because skipping it is dangerous. This strategy relies on a force gun and it relies on balls of steel. So you want to run towards this direction, take him out first. This is random here. If this one runs away, you should be okay to run around this corner. Do not hug this wall. If you hug the right wall, the ball sack on the wall will kill you. Do you see it just then? You've got to give it some space. If you don't give it space, you're dead. The enemies will continue to follow you around this corner, but as long as you call the elevator, you should have enough time to save both ammunition and sanity, and you'll skip that entire sequence. And when you come back down, everything will have despawned and you'll not have to fight any of them. And it doesn't make any sense, because that section despawns, but the section we just ran through in the other area is still alive and rampant, and I don't get that. Make sure you kill the ballsack, just in case. And that is me trimming out an elevator, because I'm sick of them. This is literally deadlift the game, which, you know, made more sense than I thought it would, because there's actually something called a deadlift, and that's not what I meant. But the puzzle here is there's this central pillar that's got 3 different signs. It's effectively connect 3. Each of the outer signs has 2 symbols on them. You have to make it so that all of them are generating the green electricity to the central core. It involves standing on the kinesis pads and turning these arbitrary things, and every time you do it, you get attacked. And I say every time, it's the first time you do it, really. Every time after that, you're pretty much safe, but the first spawn is real busy, so get ready for this. Your main luxury, however, is when you're standing on these plates, you are the destroyer of men. You just pull the body parts off the necromorphs like they're made of butter. It's glorious. The downside, they do spawn them on 2 sides of you, which by the end of this game I got really sick of that sucker punch, because it happens far too frequently. But what can you do, man? It's intentional, and you've just got to accept it at some point. But just then was an enemy spawn. You can tell I'm wearing my headset for this section because I heard it. This is me stripping the necromorphs of the limbs. You'll notice when they jump at you, if you pull the limb off, it knocks them over. So it's a guaranteed stun, which is absolutely great. But there's a lot of these guys. There is a lot of these slashers. So just be aware of it. And always check your back. As soon as you get a second, check your back. Right now, I don't know why I'm not checking my back. I'm assuming I've killed everything. I don't know if I have. No, I know I've not. But if you run over to this corner here, this corner's great because none of the necromorphs can get behind you because there's that kind of strandy thing that's moving, and they will all come down this flank, so you can divide and conquer and safely exterminate them. And this is actually a pretty big battle, but I had no trouble with it, and I'm really happy about that, because every time you do a section and it goes well, it does feel good, because it feels like you conquered it rather than struggled through it. And I heard assists, and he's going to come out of one of the spawn points. He's over there, he's just died. Oh, there he is. There's another one. The worst part about the assist, guys, is you can sever the explosive, you can sever half the body, and they'll still attack you. They look like a tea bag. It's ridiculous, like a tea bag with a flap of skin. It's just stupid. It's literally something from the circus. The first time me and Aiden saw it, we were in tears because it looked ridiculous. It looked like we were being attacked by like a rib bone and a foreskin. It was just amazing. But once you've killed all these, I think you're now free to spin all the statues and get the hell out of here. There might be a couple more of the tentacles, but I'm pretty sure there's no more enemy spawns because we've just literally taken out a small army just then. so we can proceed to rotate by holding B. And wonder what the hell is this place. These aliens must have either been completely paranoid when it comes to using their transportation system, or they had way too much time. Because, you know, to go to a different part of a building, instead of going in a lift or climbing a ladder like sensible futuristic human beings do at every opportunity, they decided to make this Connect 4 rock, scissors, paper bullshit. Just madness. I don't know, maybe they're a bunch of puzzle fanaticists. Or fanatics. Because I don't think fanaticist is a word. I think we've just created a word. I'm going to reflect on that. But as soon as you trigger them all, somebody's going to start a conversation with you. I use this time to run back to the elevator so I can get out of here, just in case anything does turn up. And we're now going to be backtracking to the area with the bench, where we were getting attacked by the babies and the Rosetta things. And as I've mentioned, if you skip the room that I skipped, the one with the stalkers in it, you're going to have to skip it again. And unfortunately, it's a little bit more nerve-wracking going through the other way. The good news is there's a checkpoint just outside of the door. So if you do get fucked over, which can happen, you don't have too much progress to go back through. If you're playing on hardcore, it shouldn't be a problem at all, because I was playing on hard earlier, and the stalkers, when you have full life, non-upgraded armor, non-upgraded health or anything, but full life, you can take a stalker hit. It doesn't kill you. And in the animation of standing up, you can pop med packs, so you shouldn't have any excuse to die, really. Which is good news, because I think hardcore on this game is going to be simple. And that's not even talking about all the schematics you can make that make the game easy, like the devil horns and stuff like that. But another one of the extremely contrived flying sections. Really do not understand why this is in the game. I'm just speechless. I really am. I didn't like it the first time I did it. Didn't like it watching it just then. Can't help but think they could have done something so much better, so much more interesting, so much more unique. Do you notice how the music started? That tells me that we're going to have trouble in this room. So, this is the quickest path through this room in the reverse. Follow this corner over here. From here, move down here. Make sure you run as efficiently as you can, because the one thing the AI is extremely shit at doing, that is following you through a cluttered room. If you do this correctly like I just did, nothing can chase you. Nothing is fast enough to chase you there. There we go. Hit the button. Encounter skipped. When you come in here, I believe we're about to get attacked by soldiers. One comes from the left. Oh no, wrong room. My bad. But I think we're going to get attacked by soldiers. Because Danik is talking to us. I don't know, maybe it's later on. All you really need to know is you're going to fight soldiers in this room. It's not very fun because they can hit you in some weird positions and it's quite difficult to hit them sometimes. There's a bench. There's me trimming out what I did on the bench. It's not because I'm trying to hide it from anybody, it's just because sometimes I take too long at them, and these videos are long enough. This is a 27-minute video, so it's long enough as it is. And I think if I could do this guide again, I would have broken the videos up into smaller sections, just for my own sanity. Because there's quite a lot to say about Dead Space 3, but there's not enough to sit and do 30-minute chunks. There really isn't. It becomes more difficult than it needs to be. But here's another whale door. Here's it trying to load and generate the next area before we enter. Apparently the lifts and stuff like that is really quick on the PC because the PC loads much faster than this one does. This room here, I believe, is going to be... There we go, I thought it was one of them. A shit stack of Rosetta monsters. So instead of fighting them, we're going to do the tried and tested, hit them with a bit of stasis and then run the hell away. Because there's no point wasting ammo on them. They take too much ammo, they take too much time, and they're not even that fun to fight, really. There you go. Another encounter skipped. Another piece of sanity acquired. And then we can stand on this and do another flying section. Like, I don't get it. Why couldn't the first one be in a flying section and then everyone after just teleporters? We know that his flying's involved. We don't have to see it. Like, there's not even anything to pick up. Can you imagine if there was floating resources? Anything to make it so that it feels like there's a point. I don't think that's too much to ask for. This right here is necromorphs versus soldiers. Best thing to do, I wait around thinking I can use an opportunity to kill them. What you should be doing here is run for the elevator and go up. If you can hit the elevator, you can skip everybody in this room. Just be aware, the soldiers will shoot you. They do prioritise you over the necromorphs because they're morons. Hang on a second. Is that thing's face just, like, monstrous? Is that the only thing they changed? Because it does kind of look like a head, just not a baby face. Well, that was a twitcher. Bloody hell, how close was he? I think elevators are holy ground because it didn't look like he could stand on it then. He kind of got up my ass and then backed off. That was great. That was like prison fun time. But if you haven't figured out what this puzzle is, it wants you to replicate the images on the wall behind you. This is what I referred to as the Beetlejuice puzzle, because it looks like those shitty statues that woman makes on Beetlejuice. In fact, one of those statues looks a hell of a lot like a marker, if you go back and watch it. They're really creepy, but Tim Burton's a pretty creepy guy. Very, very different sense of style and sense of imagery. But I'm glad we're carrying this flask of doom everywhere with us that's opening all these magical doors, because if we didn't, we would be screwed. But just in case you haven't had your fill of arbitrarily flying between each section, we've got another spell of it coming up. And that right there is showing us that Danik is in front of us, and when we go back to the central spire, we're going to be attacked by soldiers, I believe. And if I'm wrong again, I'm just going to quit this, because I'm clearly terrible. But as soon as you get off this elevator, the Rosetta monsters are going to spawn again, so you want to carry on, and you want to completely skip this shit. Just run straight. Oh, there's a Twitcher too. Knock him on his ass. Carry on. The Twitchers will catch you from behind, because they're very quick. But as soon as you stand on this, it starts generating the travel mechanic, and that's the end of that room. So a lot of these fights, if you spend the time to kill everybody, it's going to be a nuisance. But if you skip them, I think these last few chapters are very manageable. In co-op, we had a lot of trouble because we were trying to kill everything. We only skipped one room, and when I did it solo, I only thought I was going to skip that one room. I thought I could do the other ones, but as it turned out, there was just too many things to kill. So the logical answer was just fuck it, essentially. I'll tell you something I am curious about. If there's a walkthrough up yet using the devil horns. Because one of the things that really made me laugh, quite a while ago now, 2 years back in fact, was when Dead Space 2 came out. I worked my butt off as a small YouTuber to get my Dead Space 2 guide up as fast as I could with my internet and all the various problems that arises from that. Look at the splash on that rocket launcher. What a load of shit. What a big old bucket of dog shit. And I worked my balls off getting the guide up, got it up, was really proud about it, and I noticed when I searched for walkthroughs that there was another one on Zealot. There was a guy with the fucking foam handgun. So he's playing through the game with a one-shot kill weapon with unlimited ammo, and he's calling it a walkthrough. And that type of stuff to me, I can understand it for a speedrun, I can understand it for a fun run, but how the hell are you showing people how to beat a game when you're using a gun that kills everything in one hit? It's just stupid. And I don't get those people that think they're helping when they do that. I really don't. So I'm curious if there's one of those already up, because there always is. There's always that one guy that, you know, here's me showing you how to play the Dead Space. I have my devil horns, and as you can see, I'm taking out the bad guys, taking out the trash, and sorting it. It's just, really, dude? Is that how you're gonna play? That's just, it makes me laugh so much. And there's always that type of person. It's the same situation when you watch somebody play a walkthrough, and it's the first time they've played the game. So they've got no idea what they're doing, and they're supposed to be showing you how to do the game, and you sat there wondering, this motherfucker doesn't even know where he's going. How the hell can he teach me something? And that just brings us into the topic of the disambiguation of what walkthrough means on YouTube. Because let's face it, there is a very small commodity of people making walkthroughs on this channel. For everything else, there's incompetent Let's Plays. And then there are actual really great Let's Plays, and then there are others that are just, you know, awesome playthroughs. It's one of those things where there's something for everybody, but it always pisses me off when people miscategorize stuff. And I know it's a tactic to get more views, it's a tactic to show up in the search engines. Like when people used to put what their video content was, when you used to put that it was gaming or that it was, you know, entertainment or food and stuff like that, people had put, you know, genres that are not often tread, just so that their numbers would generate them to the top, so that they would be shown on, you know, food and leisure with a Call of Duty video, because the only way you're going to learn to cook risotto is by playing Call of Duty 4 and stuff like that. These illegitimate tactics that people have on YouTube, and a lot of people do it because it makes sense. And you know, when you start bringing in those massive paychecks, you know, they don't give a single fuck. They really don't. And can you blame them? You know, when you're making kiss my ass money, the only thing you want to do at that point is make more kiss my ass money. And it leads to controversy because people say something, or people will set down a principle and then they'll contradict somebody by saying that you did this when you weren't supposed to, and then later on we'll find out that they did something else when they weren't supposed to. And if you're a member of the Call of Duty community on YouTube and you paid attention to the Raw Instinct thing that kicked off, that is now ridiculous. I did not pay attention after a couple of weeks of that nonsense. I'll be careful here, you're going to get shot by some dudes. Because for the people that don't know what this is, there was a very big YouTuber, I'm talking 250,000 subscribers. This is a guy who is earning more than some families do in a year by making Call of Duty videos. And he was essentially stealing the ideas, stealing the designs, stealing the tags, stealing the topics. He was making almost the identical videos to another very successful YouTuber. So somebody called him out on his bullshit. And he called him out in this really fancy video, but the problem with it is it's like a documentary, the video. It's insanely biased, there's no objectivity at all. It's coming from a position of being scorned, so it's always going to be, you know, against this YouTuber. And this became prolific immediately. Raw Instinct ended up not posting a video for like 9 months or something ridiculous. It's almost like he quit YouTube, and the guy who exposed him on his bullshit ended up becoming massive and blowing up really big. So it was almost like justice was served, and the smaller channel got what it deserved in the end, and the bigger channel got, you know, deservedly called out on its bullshit. But it didn't end there. A couple months later, the guy who called him out for the bullshit ended up repeating the very same kind of tactics. So somebody called him out, and it was like fucking Emmerdale Farm. It was unbelievable, all this shit that was kicking off. People calling them hypocrites, people picking them up on stuff, and everybody was having a go, and you know, everybody was dropping the 2 cents to get more views, because YouTube drama sells like a motherfucker. It really does, and everybody wanted to stick their toe in the water. And I didn't really pay attention to it because I've gone off Call of Duty a little bit because I'm not playing it and I'm not around it, so it's easy to not be interested in it. But it turns out the guy who exposed Raw Instinct, somebody found a video of him jacking off on like a gay chat site. So he's there with his cock out, you know, soliciting masturbation videos for you know, happy-go-lucky gay men. And somebody brought it to light, and obviously if you're a YouTube personality, that's going to be real bad. I don't really understand it, because at the end of the day, you know, there's people on cam sites all over the internet working from the house on webcams, making quite a decent living just by, you know, rubbing their fun parts and people watching. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because at the end of the day, it's, you know, it's a celebration of sexuality, and it's not something we should be repressed. But as soon as a guy does it, ooh, it's wrong, it's gay, it's all these silly things. So he got called out on this dick video. This is a married man as well, which is fucking glorious. I don't really know much about it, so I'm just going to paraphrase and probably destroy all validity. And he ended up closing his YouTube account. This is a guy who had got like 80,000 subscribers off of this controversy, and all he was doing is making the same cookie-cutter Call of Duty bullshit that everybody else makes on YouTube. And he got a massive fan base, and he quit his channel because of the shit he got, all this feedback from getting his dick out on this chat site. And I'm sorry, folks, but if getting my dick out on a gay website is going to get me a massive following, sign me up. I'll I'll buy the webcam today. I'll have dick and balls. I'll make a fruit ball. I don't even care. It's just because I mean, it don't really bother me, that type of stuff. I've never been the guy who's really self-conscious about sexuality. It just doesn't do much for me. And I don't have a wife. I have a girlfriend who would probably be quite annoyed, but then she might see the funny side. But he quit. And the guy who he exposed, this raw instinct, has come back. And the first video he made back after 9 months is him taking the piss out of this other guy who got his dick out. I'm telling you, folks, if you've never seen this, and this sounds funny to you, search on YouTube, watch all the videos and the responses, and it's drama all the time. It makes no sense. And there's another recent one where a big Call of Duty commentator is confessed. I say confessed like it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. He's broadcasted that he's going out with a porn star. And there's been a massive backlash from idiots, really, from virgins. That's what it is. From moron idiots. Probably there's some religious people in there that are against pornography because it's satanical and you should be ashamed of your body and your sexuality, and you should only ever want to do carnal and sinful things when it comes to procreating, which is the biggest load of bullshit ever written down. Oh, by the way, this bit here, when it glows, it means it's going to send this shit down at you. Be careful on the detection of the cogs. It can be clear and you can still get clipped. It's really stupid. I hate this section. This is just another nail in the coffin of the shit level design at the end of this game. But trying to finish up on the topic anyway. He's said that he's going out with a porn star, and I couldn't do it because I'm a jealous guy, and you know, if I saw my girlfriend fucking somebody else, it'd kill me. I would probably cry. I would probably break both my hands on either someone's face or a wall or something. It would not be a good show at all. But you know, to his credit, he's seeing through all the stereotypes and he's going out with this person. They might be a fantastic couple and everything, but she's a porn star and she's proud of it, and a lot of people are calling her a whore and calling her a slut and calling her trash and calling her all sorts of different things. And everybody seems to think on these comments, these ridiculously idiotic and just moronic people think that every porn star does it out of desperation and a bad childhood and that they need money. Sorry guys, that is a very small percentage of porn stars. The majority are extremely happy people that just like fucking and they get paid to do it. So why wouldn't you do it? Just madness. But virgins on the internet, dripping idiocracy. What can we do about it? I know, shoot them all. Nah, I'm only kidding. That is the end of chapter 18. The next one is the final moment of this game and this guide. Thank you for staying with me so long if you have. I hope the videos have helped, and you take care now.